Welcome back to Tropic and Reef, folks. Today we are going to be doing another box opening of this Neptune Trident water analyzer. Now, we have done this in the past for some of our customers and to help them set that up. Today is going to be special because we're going to be setting this up for our store use to just install this and get a reference of our water testing, especially for the calcium, arsenic, magnesium for our frac tanks in the store. So let's go ahead and get the box opening done quickly. As always, it's a very beautiful piece of equipment, very built, very good quality from Neptune. Just a little bit careful with one hand here, getting the unit out of the box. There you are. Put this back. Right here on the flap of the top box we have the starter guide, so we'll go through those shortly, even though we know the installation process. So this is pretty much what you get right out of the box. This is the main unit, and you slide it out where you put all your three reagents: calcium, mercury, magnesium. This is the calibration fluid that comes with the unit. Very important, you've got to get this calibrated. And we have the spindle, which basically is required for your sampling of your line water. You have the hoses out here. One is your bus cable that's going to be connecting to your apex to power this unit and configure it. And you have the intake and wastewater line given out here. Now keep in mind there is a limitation to the length of this intake line that needs to be in. You're not supposed to cut it, nor you're supposed to extend it. There's no extension available. So you're going to plan the install and placement of this unit accordingly so that you're utilizing the length of the intake line that you get from the box from Neptune. At the same time, the aquabus cable is of a specific length, so you're going to make sure you place it accordingly so that it reaches your apex. Out here in the box is your reagents, nicely packed from Neptune. Now, as always, you get, let's open this up. You get your reagent A, which is your alkalinity. You get 2 bottles of that. You get your reagent C, which is for your calcium and magnesium, and your reagent B for your calcium and magnesium. So 2 bottles of reagent for your alkalinity and one each for calcium and magnesium. So we're going to now start the installation process and configuration, and we will get back to you to show you the end result. So stay tuned. Alright folks, here we are. We have just done a basic setup right now, the Trident. We have got the 3 reagents in. Now, as always, care to be noted that when you're putting the first 2 bottles in and capping them, you don't want to pinch these lines once you put the drawer back inside. You want to make sure these lines are not pinched. Now here we are, just a temporary setup we are done right now. That's our waste line, and this is our intake line going in our sump. So that's a pre-filter. It's going to take in the water for the analyzing, for the testing, and then all the excess waste is going to be collected over here. Now we're going to configure the Trident with the waste container size to be 1 gallon, so you can get a warning alert when the container is about to get full, just as a precautionary measure. So here we are, we're going to now start putting this in gently. We'll cap this off. Okay.
Go.
Okay, all right, folks. So you're back here with the Trident. Now we had got this set up 2 days back. Now, as per recommendations from Neptune, you're supposed to let it run initially for first 2 days, 2 to 3 days, and then do your first calibration. So it's been 2 days. This has been working and has started giving us some readings, but we want to make sure we get the calibration in place. So from the box, you get this calibration liquid. Now, if you notice, there are some predefined values that have been determined and predefined out here on the bottle. So magnesium is 1255, calcium is 425, and the alkalinity DKH is 8.10. We're going to use these values in the Neptune Apex software from Fusion shortly, but for now, we're going to get this bottle in same line as your intake out here for the Neptune Trident. So we're going to remove this line out, the intake line from our sump. And an important note is that the bottle for the calibration has to be at the same water height in your sump where you have this line going in. Now we're going to keep this immersed out here, and we'll go back to the Neptune software to get the calibration started. Now, make a note that this calibration liquid that comes, you get 1 bottle in the Trident box, but you are supposed to use this only 1 time. After each time use, when you finish your calibration, you got to throw it out, and for your next calibration, whenever you need to, you got to have a new bottle. So now we'll go back and get these values put in the software and get the calibration started. The calibration usually takes around 40 to 45 minutes, where it will keep testing each and every additive, calcium, mercury, magnesium. So let's go ahead and get the process started. Now we are on our Neptune Apex for our store use, and we're going to put the values in for the calibration. So we're going to the Trident tile here. We go to Trident, and you scroll down and you toggle the switch for perform calibration. And as you can see, there are some predetermined values out here already defined for alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. We're going to replace these with the ones given on the calibration liquid as prescribed by Neptune. So we'll go with the KH first. Over here it's showing us 8.5. We're going to change it to 8.1. For calcium, we're going to bump it up to 425. And for magnesium, we're going to scale it down to 1255. Alright, now once you perform this, you will commit the settings into your Apex Cloud, and you're going to click on. Alright, I think that's pretty much it. Alright, so we have committed these changes into the Apex Fusion app, and now we're going to go back to our screen here. We're back on the screen out here, and as you can see now, it has already started initializing. So what it's going to be doing first is going to be start priming the intake line, basically drawing the calibration solution from the bottle that we have out there. And it's going to prime that line and start the calibration process. Now, based on past calibrations that we've done on other customer setups for Trident, and basically what Neptune does mention is that an average calibration time, it takes pretty much between 40 to 45 minutes. So you're going to leave this over here, keep monitoring it in between, and then wait for the next steps once the calibration process is completed to see what the results are. And then based on that, we're going to start working towards our dosing requirements for our aquariums, for our tanks in the store, and set those accordingly out here. So thank you for following along. We'll keep you posted on the next update.